The sky trembled before your name was even spoken. Now the veil opens, and what's coming will leave you breathless. Have you ever felt the air around you freeze without warning? Have you woken up at night sensing something was watching you, but not with fear, with destiny? And what if everything you believed about your path is about to shift? This is not an omen of doom, it's a sacred rewrite. Baba Vanga foresaw days when fate would twist for earthborn souls like you. This is one of those days. A vibrational gate opens, and with it, your name echoes into the unknown. Taurus, something ancient is approaching, and it's not here to ask permission. It's coming to awaken a truth that no one has lived before. Not like this. Stay close. Taurus, can you feel it? Something in the air is bending. A force beyond logic has started to breathe inside your story. But it's not chaos. It's a design, a whisper, a spiritual anomaly that only someone like you could recognize. Because this time, it's not happening to people like you. It's happening to you. And what's coming? No one has ever lived it in this exact shape. No blueprint, no instruction, just you, facing a moment so rare, so divinely orchestrated that not even your ancestors saw it coming. The death card appears reversed, and the tower falls, not as threats, but as signs. And when these two forces walk side by side, Taurus, something sacred collapses. Not to destroy you, but to unmask what was never real. What have you been holding on to so tightly, even as it rotted in your hands? Who told you that safety means staying where you no longer grow? Right now, your soul is pulling the emergency brake on a life that is no longer aligned with your frequency. And you've felt it, that discomfort in your chest, that name that pops into your dreams, that invitation you keep ignoring, not because it's wrong, but because it's right and terrifying. There is a document, a contract, an agreement, and behind it a figure is watching. Their eyes aren't malicious, they're calculating. They want what you've built with time and care, because they don't know how to create, only how to manipulate. Taurus, if you move too fast this week, you risk giving away something that belongs to your destiny, not out of weakness, out of misplaced loyalty. You've been patient, yes, but now the test is not patience, it's precision, a verbal agreement, a rushed offer, a promise that sounds almost right. Pause, read again, breathe, because the tower doesn't fall on buildings made of truth, it falls on illusions disguised as foundations. And when the tower comes down, Taurus, the sound is deafening. But it is not to punish, it's to liberate, to return you to yourself. Let me ask you this, what have you delayed letting go of, out of fear that nothing better will come? The cards whisper, something better is not coming. Something unimaginable is, but not until the space is cleared, and what's more, the person behind the mask. They're already weaving a plan, a delay, a misdirection, a subtle lie wrapped in concern. Trust your gut, Taurus. It's not paranoia, it's preparation. Venus, your ruling planet, now moves through a sensitive zone, heightening your ability to detect energetic imbalances. You are not overreacting. You are awakening. Now listen closely. In the next 72 hours, a tiny gesture, a glance, a misplaced word, an unintentional silence will reveal the misalignment. That's your clue. That's your doorway. Don't miss it, because the Ace of Cups rises after the storm. And when it does, someone enters. For some of you, it's a soul you've never met, clean-hearted, intentional, not here to play games. For others, it's someone from the past, returning transformed. But the rule is clear. You cannot drink from the new cup if your hands are still full of the old poison. Let it go, Taurus. The blessing only arrives when the clutter is gone. Now, sacred soul, anchor this vibration with me. If this message echoed even a little in your spirit, write this in the comments. I release the false and protect my truth, no matter what crumbles. Write it, whisper it, own it. Let the universe hear that you're ready, not for safety, but for sacred alignment. And if this revelation stirred your chest, leave your hype on this video. Like, comment, share, and if it calls you, become a member of this sacred circle. Every hype you share strengthens this frequency, helps this space grow, and delivers this light to others who need it, just like you did. The veil is thin now, Taurus, and this was only the beginning. The tremors you felt lately, they're not nerves, they're prophecies turning in your bones. Taurus, you were never meant to live a life that felt like a repeat of someone else's. So why have you been trying to fit into structures that were never designed for your soul? The message is clear now. A divine fracture has begun, and every delay, every uneasy silence, every late-night ache in your chest was a signal you were never supposed to ignore. So ask yourself, why have you been excusing the behavior of someone who no longer respects your truth? What are you afraid will break if you finally speak what your soul has been screaming? The cards deepen their call. The Seven of Pentacles reverse shows your energy invested in a space where growth is no longer sacred, just expected. It's a relationship, a project, a belief system, and it's draining you. But here's the hidden danger. Someone near you has seen the cracks. And instead of helping, they're waiting for you to slip, for your guard to drop. They wear a smile, they speak in calm tones, but their heart carries a hunger, not for your well-being, but for your foundation. They crave what you've built because they cannot build for themselves. Taurus, why do you keep forgiving silence where there should be protection? Your loyalty is a temple, but not everyone who enters bows in reverence. And now a document, legal, financial, or emotional, emerges in your reading. Something that seems small, but touches the roots of your future stability, and it carries urgency. You'll hear it, just sign it. You're overthinking it. There's no time to wait, but here's your cosmic response. If it cannot wait, it cannot be trusted. Pause, ask, pray. Get a second set of eyes, because your first instinct is trying to protect you from something unseen. You are in a battlefield now, Taurus. But the enemy is not outside. It's in the pressure to abandon your wisdom. Hold the line, and then the tower rises again in your spread, not to scare, to cleanse. There will be 3 days of deep spiritual shaking, starting now. Not everything will break, but what does was never meant to stay. You'll know it's starting when you feel this. A conversation that suddenly turns cold. A delay that feels too perfect to be coincidence. A name you haven't heard in years, spoken by someone unexpected. These are not accidents. They are pressure points of destiny, because immediately after, the Ace of Cups returns, this time brighter, louder, more magnetic, and it comes with a presence, someone, not random, but timed. They don't come offering rescue, they come offering recognition. For some, it's a stranger with keys you didn't know you needed. For others, it's the one you thought had forgotten you, returning not as a ghost, but as a guardian. But there's a test. You must release what made you doubt your own value, or this blessing will pass by unseen. You cannot taste divine love with a tongue still poisoned by betrayal. You cannot step into sacred alignment while dragging a story that was written by someone else's fear. Taurus, are you ready to let go of the narrative you no longer believe in, or will you keep reciting lines from a role that never fit your soul? Your answer will determine what happens next, because the moon now begins to rise over your path. And when the moon appears, secrets surface, dreams intensify, and truth no longer hides in shadows. You may begin to see people revealing themselves in strange ways. Confessions slip out accidentally. Eyes avoid yours in crucial moments. Details in a story suddenly stop making sense. What if all those signs were the universe saying, "Look closer, you already know"? Taurus, the one who lied, will soon trip on their own deception. The one who watched you suffer will now need your forgiveness. But the most important revelation, you'll realize you no longer need any of them to rise. There is someone watching you, but not with eyes of judgment, with the eyes of memory, of cosmic recognition. Taurus, a presence is circling your field, not from this world, but not far from it either. They are not here to scare you. They are here to awaken what you forgot you were. what you were before the pain, before the compromise, before you made yourself small just to keep the peace. Have you noticed it? That flicker in the corner of your vision when no one's there, that sudden change in temperature when the room should be still, that song that plays, and you know it wasn't random. This is not imagination, this is visitation. A soul who once walked beside you, who still walks, though unseen, is trying to make contact, and their message is urgent. You are not who they told you to be. You are who your spirit came here to remember. This guide does not come in thunder. They arrive in tremors, in symbols, in the moment your breath catches for no reason, and now their energy becomes clearer. You will sense it in dreams, perhaps as a grandmother's voice, a teacher's smile, a child's eyes you've never seen, but somehow know. They carry a message that cannot be delivered through words alone, because it's not just about hearing, it's about choosing. Taurus, are you ready to remember what you came here for? Because the Five of Pentacles has shown itself, and it reveals something chilling. There is a psychic attack in your field, but not of dark rituals or curses. This is more subtle, more dangerous. It is envy cloaked in affection, jealousy disguised as advice, energy disguised as care that drains instead of nourishes. Someone has been whispering your name in places where your light is misunderstood. They don't need to hate you, to want what you have, and you've felt it. That sluggishness, that fog in your mind, that sudden shift in mood after speaking with a certain person. These aren't moods, they're intrusions. And here's the truth, it's not about them. It's about the doors you've left open. Your energy field is sacred ground, Taurus. But lately, the gates have been wide, too wide. And now your guide, the one walking between worlds, is asking you to seal what is sacred. Here's how. Speak out loud. My energy is mine. My truth is sovereign. Cleanse your space, not out of fear, out of authority. Salt, fire, water, your voice, your breath, your command. None of it is superstition if it comes from clarity, because you are the altar, Taurus, and no one gets to touch what lives within your temple unless you allow it. Now, listen to this. There is a child or a youthful energy near you, maybe your own inner child, maybe a young soul in your home, maybe a part of you that still remembers the language of innocence, and they have been receiving messages before you, through drawings, through night terrors, through strange questions that make no sense, and yet ring with truth. Do not dismiss them. The purest spirits feel what we've learned to ignore. Protect them, sit with them, speak words of light over them, even if they don't fully understand, because they are mirrors, and their shift is your activation. Now, Taurus, here comes the revelation you felt but couldn't name. In 11 days, a signal will arrive. It may be a call from someone you haven't heard from in years, a delayed message finally reaching you, a coincidental meeting that rewrites everything. But this won't just be an event. It will be the split. One road returns you to old patterns, comfort, silence, invisibility. The other leads to sovereignty, to speaking what you were never allowed to say, to reclaiming a part of you that was left behind in another life, another version, another story. And when that moment comes, you will feel it in your gut, in your bones, in the way the world suddenly goes quiet. Will you choose it? Will you trust the part of you that no longer fits in the life you've outgrown? The gate is nearing, Taurus. And soon, the air will shimmer with the energy of irreversible change. There's a line approaching, not drawn in the sand, but in the soul. And Taurus, once you cross it, nothing will ever be the same. This is not a threat, it's a promise that your life, as it has been, has served its sacred purpose. And now the next story begins. But here's the thing about thresholds. They rarely come wrapped in clarity. They arrive disguised, sometimes as confusion, sometimes as fear, sometimes as a whisper. Something isn't right here anymore. That whisper, that's your soul knocking from the other side of the door, asking, are you ready to leave behind the identity you built just to survive? And survival, Taurus, was never the goal. Evolution is. Right now, you're in the liminal, the sacred in-between. You're no longer the person you were, and not yet the person you're becoming. That's why everything feels suspended, why people around you are acting differently, why what once excited you now feels dull, because you are vibrating in a new frequency, and what doesn't match it is being removed, silently, relentlessly. You'll notice texts go unanswered, conversations stall, plans fall through, not by coincidence, but by energetic decluttering. This is the part where the universe begins cleaning house, even if you're still holding the broom. Let me ask you this, Taurus. Are you still trying to repair what was never real? Are you still asking the wrong people to see the right version of you? Are you still chasing closure from stories that were always meant to end in mystery? The cards now bring forward the world, the final arcana. But instead of celebration, it carries weight, because completion is not always joy. Sometimes it's grief. Sometimes it's freedom dressed as silence. You are completing a 7-year karmic cycle. A contract your soul agreed to long before this lifetime, one built on endurance, on holding space, on sacrificing what you wanted for what others needed. But now, that agreement has expired. What happens when a contract ends? A door opens, but also ties unravel, masks fall, roles dissolve. You may feel lost in the weeks ahead, not because you've done something wrong, but because your compass is recalibrating. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. The universe doesn't always guide you through ease. Sometimes it uses isolation, silence, stillness to bring you face to face with the truth you've been avoiding. You are not here to stay small. You are not here to play safe. You are here to remember what divine force lives inside you. And what if I told you that in the moment you finally stop asking for validation, your real power begins to move? That's what the final card whispers. The Hierophant, your card, Taurus, the spiritual teacher, the one who remembers sacred knowledge passed down through lifetimes. This is your return to truth, to sovereignty, to self-initiation. The path ahead will not be smooth, but it will be honest. And the first step is choosing your own voice over the one they taught you to obey. The silence that surrounds you now is sacred. It's not emptiness, it's preparation. Because what's about to arrive, Taurus, requires space, emotional space, energetic space, spiritual space. Everything that has left your life recently, every goodbye, every unanswered call, every plan that dissolved was not rejection. It was clearing. The universe does not plant seeds in overcrowded soil. And now, the garden of your soul has been tilled. The winds have whispered, the stars have aligned, and the prophecy is ready to unfold. Let me ask you one final time. Are you still holding your breath, waiting for permission to live differently? Are you still waiting for someone to come back and explain why they couldn't love you the way you needed? Are you still measuring your worth by how well you endure pain? Because the last card rises, and it is judgment. Not judgment from others, not from the past. It is you standing before your own becoming. The question isn't, what will they think of me if I change? It's, can I live with myself if I don't? This is the resurrection moment, the one where your old self falls away, not in shame, but in completion. The one where your new self steps forward, not in perfection, but in present. Taurus, it's time. Time to step into the unknown. Time to speak the truth you've buried under politeness. Time to love with the intensity you've reserved for dreams. Time to become the prophecy your ancestors whispered about. No more delays, no more bargaining, no more waiting for a sign. This entire message was the sign. And now, all that remains is your yes. Yes to the new timeline. Yes to letting go of what you wanted it to be. Yes to trusting that what's coming is better than what's gone. And when you say yes, the gate will open. You'll know it's real when the air changes in the room for no reason. You hear a phrase that feels like déjà vu. A butterfly, a number, a dream, returns again and again. These are not metaphors, these are codes. And Taurus, you're finally ready to read them. Now, beloved soul of the earth, if this message has echoed deep in your spirit, write the following decree in the comments and let it seal your transformation. I walk through the gate with open hands and receive the life my soul has always deserved. Speak it aloud, feel it in your chest, let the vibration become your new compass. And if this prophecy awakened something in you, leave your hype on this video, like, comment, share, and if your heart is moved, become a member of this sacred circle. Every hype you offer fuels this light, helps this sanctuary grow, and brings this frequency to others who are still waiting to feel seen, heard, and divinely remembered. The world is changing, and Taurus, you are not being left behind. You are being called ahead.